Here we are again in 4.4. We're going to be learning about sequences, which are super fun. Sequences are patterns. Okay, so we are going to, actually let me go back to the correct page here. Boop. Okay, so our lesson goals are to define and identify arithmetic and geometric patterns, and to extend given patterns. So when we're given a pattern, be able to draw it out. Keep going with it. Okay, guiding questions are: how are geometric and arithmetic sequences different? And then we have our activities for the day. So again, you should be working along with your Moodle course with this. Your warm-up will also be the very first thing in your Moodle course, and then you'll have that video and finish with a skill check. So Olivia's gymnastic routine follows a pattern. Her routine goes like this: step, step, twirl, hop, jump, step, step, twirl. What's the next move in her gymnastic sequence? How do you know? Well, that's for you to think about. Take a little brain pause, look at these words. Step, step, twirl, hop, jump. 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 So probably hop, then jump. But it says just the next move. So because it only asks for that, I'm not going to go above and beyond. So step, step. We have step, step here. Step, step there. Then it goes into twirl, twirl. So I know the next one is probably going to be a hop. Okay. How do I know? Because it looks like this is our sequence. It looks like our pattern is step, step, twirl, hop, jump. So it looks like a 5 sequence pattern. I ran out of room there. That's okay. Yours will probably look better than mine. That's okay. Okay. Kania drew some geometric shapes on her paper. Can you see a pattern? Sketch the next geometric shape in her pattern. So take a moment, look at these shapes. Got some squares with triangles in them. One's shaded, one's not. Okay, so this might help you. So this is the first. This is the second step in our sequence. The third step. So what's the fourth step gonna look like? Now I'm not a betting person, but if I were to be, I would bet that we're just adding on one of these every time. So because we're in the fourth line here, again, this is not to scale. Please don't judge my drawing skills. I like to draw, but I'm under pressure right now. Whoa, that last one's a little big. Let me fix that. Oop. Well, that went poorly. Let's try again. Mistakes were made. That's okay. So I've got 4. There we go. They're mostly even. And then that's cut in half, it looks like. And then each of these is cut into triangles. Again, yours will probably look much better than mine. And then each of the bottom triangles is shaded. So again, just going to do a really sassy little shade here, just for you to see. So in the fourth step, it looks like there are 4 of those stacks of squares that are shaded. Okay, the fifth one would probably have 5 of those, so on and so forth. Describe the pattern in words. So if I were to describe this in words, I would say that the first step is 2 squares with shaded triangles. Again, you can explain this a little better than I am, because I am having a little brain doozy here and struggling for some reason with words. Sometimes patterns are really hard to describe, especially picture patterns. So the first step is 2 square with shaded triangles, and it looks like that this pattern for every step we add on one more of step 1. If that makes sense. So this is step 1. Step 2 has 2 of step 1. Step 3 has 3 of step 1. Step 4 has 4 of step 1, if that makes sense. That's what I was trying to put in words, but it just wasn't happening. Not in 2 lines. I could have written an elegant paragraph, but I did not. All right, let's look at our next page, since Miss Nord is having a little brain doozy over here. So it says, use the space below to record notes while reviewing your online lesson. Here's where you jump in the video online that will help you. And these are some important definitions that I just want to point out really quick. Okay, so a sequence is an ordered list of numbers, shapes, or mathematical objects. Could really be anything. It's just a pattern. A arithmetic number pattern is the difference between one term and the next term is a constant number. So that means I'm either adding the same number or subtracting the same number. Arithmetic, add, here I'm going to write that down. Arithmetic, you constantly add the same number or subtract the same number. Okay, add the same number or subtract the same number. Sorry, that was not written neatly. Geometric number patterns. Each term is found by multiplying or dividing the previous term by a constant. So geometric patterns include multiplying and dividing. Arithmetic patterns include adding or subtracting. Okay, so go ahead, use that those notes online. Go through some of these, and I'll look at some of these patterns with you right here that we have. So it says arithmetic number patterns, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Each time we are adding 2, because the difference between 2 and 4 is 2. 4 and 6 is 2. 6 and 8 is 2. 8 and 10 is 2. 10 and 12 is 2. So our rule is to add 2 every time. And the next number, that's what I want you to do, is fill out the next number or the next value and write the rule. Plus 2 or add 2. Okay. And the next one, here's this cool pattern. 1, 4, 7, 10. To get from 1 to 4, I added 3. To get from 4 to 7, I added 3. To get from 7 to 10, I added 3. To get from 10 to 13, I added 3. Okay, pretty simple. You get the gist of it. The next page in our student workbook, page 29, is looking at some geometric patterns. Remember, geometric means to multiply or divide. 2, 4, 8, 16. 2 times what is 4? 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times what is 8? 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times what is 16 times 2? Okay, so that means I have to do 16 times 2, which is 32. So our rule is to multiply by 2. And you can see it's kind of written in these boxes here. 1,110. Okay. So I start with a big number and I got smaller, which means I'm probably dividing by something. And I'm dividing by 10 because I'm dropping 1 0 every time. So what's 10 divided by 10? Ooh, 10 divided by 10 is 1. So my rule is to divide by 10. And here you can put that right here in these boxes. That's what it wants you to do for those boxes. Awesome. Pretty simple. Patterns are fun. I like them. They can get tricky though. All right, so let's keep moving. All right, we're on page 30. This is your activity. Paper, pencil, and colored pencils. Miss Nora loves colors, as you can tell from every lesson. I changed my pen color like 10 times. Okay, your objective is to identify the pattern and draw the next image in the sequence. Draw your own art sequence. Share with a friend and have them guess the next image. That's an extension. You can do that. The directions. We see sequences all around us, especially in art. Do you see any sequences in your home or around you? So let me think. I'm in my makeshift office right now, and I'm looking at some notebooks. Got some folders over here. I've got this cool little pencil case, and it's got all kinds of patterns on it. It's got some Aztec print on it, and you can tell that the pattern changes by color, but not by shape. The shapes are shifted. It's got flowers on it. What else? I got buffalo plaid baskets in here. So just some cool patterns that repeat that I could pick up on easily. In this activity, you will find sequences and draw your own. Oh, if you have tile in your bathroom or in your kitchen, or really anywhere in your house, but specifically those are the two places you would most likely have tile in your house, then you have a pattern in your house. It says draw the next 3 images in the sequence. So first, let's figure out what our pattern is here. So we have diamond, circle, triangle. Diamond, circle, diamond. Uh-oh. What is going to be the answer to this one? Tricky, tricky. What do you guys think? At first it looked like that this was our pattern, diamond, circle, triangle. But then they tripped us up and they just went straight to diamond. So what do you think the next 3 images are going to be in the sequence? Think about it. Let's look at the next sequence. What is the pattern? Draw the next image in the sequence. So here we have our starting figure. I like to call it like step 1. It's our first figure. Our second figure, it looks like they added like a, what's this called? It reminds me of a hourglass that's got sand in it. And then it looks like we added, so we kept that same shape. And then we added 2 triangles. And then we got 2 more dark triangles. And it looks like the shape we're forming here is kind of like an arrow. It's like expanding. It's like a V turned sideways, or the head of an arrow. So what would be the next image in this sequence? I like this one. Let's doodle this one. I'll put black on to make it similar. Okay. So I start with, this was the image I started with. Then they added on 2 darkened triangles like this. Again, don't judge my drawing. Then we added on 2 non-shaded triangles like this. Uh-oh, that triangle was a little rounded. And then we added on 2 darkened triangles. So our next step, step 5, is probably going to add on 2 not shaded triangles. And they're probably just going to be continued to be added in that pattern. So I'm going to draw them down on these right here. Boop, boop. What do you guys think? Does that look like a good step 5? I know my triangles are not perfect, but I think it looks okay. So if you see, it looks like we go from, we'll call them blank triangles. Then we add shaded. Then we go back to blank, adding 2 blank. Then we go back to adding 2 shaded. But the placement does matter. Then we go back to adding 2 blank. And then the next one would be 2 shaded. And so on and so on. Okay, so that pattern, pretty cool pattern. If you find the answer to this pattern above though, message me, let me know what you think. Look at the sequence below, draw the next figure. How many triangles will there be in the 5th figure? Whoa, 5. Okay, so that means you're gonna have to either figure out the pattern and use your big brain to skip over figure 4, or you're gonna have to draw figure 4 and figure 5. Because really, they really wanna know what figure 5 is. That's what you're looking for. So you're going to have to figure out figure 4 and figure 5, or use your big brain to jump to figure 5. Then it says create your own art sequence below with at least 3 figures. At least. So just like the patterns we've seen so far, these have at least 3 figures in them. Because if you just have 2, you can't really pick up on a pattern with just 2 images next to each other. Not yet. So sometimes you might even need more than that just to really get the point across. So go ahead and see if you can do that. That's your activity. Show me your cool patterns. Come up with a cool drawing for me. I'd love to print it out and hang it in my office. And then the last part, we have some extra practice that is optional. The first one, you're looking at the rules of these sequences, and then you're saying, are they arithmetic or geometric? And you're also solving the next numbers in the sequence. Pretty simple. Again, still practicing that, solving missing numbers and patterns. I really like sequences. I think they're pretty cut and dry. And I think that's all we have for this unit. Looks great. I will see you next lesson.